ask her questions like, what is this? What is that? Where'd you get those floors? But it's been such a pleasure to get to know her. I wasn't really familiar. And then one of the girls on our team was like, oh my gosh, you got to check out Kate. And I'm like, oh, who's Kate? Let's go check out Kate. So like I said, I've been watching and creeping and learning, and it's been pushing me, you guys. We can all get complacent in our own businesses, and to see somebody else being so insanely consistent, that's what I want to say for her. For the past like 2 weeks that I've been following her, insanely consistent, that it's making me level up. I'm like, all right, call to action. I need to call to action. Kate did a call to action. I need to do a call to action today. And so thank you for being a good leader for the network and showing us how it's done. And we also creep and we see that you got some incredible numbers, girlfriend. That is absolutely amazing. So congratulations on all your success. Some of her credentials, she's been a coach for 2 years. She is 7-star in her first business center, and her hubby has five diamonds. So maybe not 5-star, but he's got 5 diamonds, and that's important. First, 1-star in her second CBC, and she is a 2-time elite. She's been a coach for 2 years, and she's a 2-time elite. Just marking that one off there. Success Club 10 legend, which means she has never dropped below Success Club 10. Because she's only been a coach for 2 years. That makes it 24 months in Success Club. That's incredible. Kate, I'm so super pumped. Like, I'm just ready to take notes. I know my team is excited, and we are excited to learn. So if you have any questions, you guys put it in the chat, and we can go over questions at the end of the call. All right?
Cool. I'm so excited. I feel so honored because when I've known you since I was a baby coach, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, Jatana, what? She wants to know who I am? Like, so it's just super fun for me. But yeah, if you guys want to like get hype in the chat, like that'd be super helpful because like I respond really well to people. So like questions, comments, anything like that. I'll probably save questions till the end. But I just like I don't know, like the chatter makes me pumped. So first I'm going to start off with just kind of telling you guys a little bit of my story. My story is pretty long and winded, but basically I'm a former teacher. So I used to be a teacher in LA, and at the time, so about 3.5 years ago, my husband, which he was my boyfriend at the time, we moved out to California after college, and it was probably the like best and worst decision we ever made because I was a brand new teacher. I was a first-year teacher. My husband was trying to get into Orange County Sheriff's Department. And that's like a 9-month hiring process, like 6 to 9 month hiring process. And it was hard, to say the least. At the time, we were just living off of my teaching salary, which isn't a whole lot as a first-year teacher, and especially in California, like cost of living is outrageous. But we were like bound and determined to like prove everyone wrong. We kind of are that personality type. Like someone tells us that we can't do something, like, girl, watch me. Like this is gonna happen. And so that's kind of like been kind of like the mantra for my entire business, to be honest. But it started even before then when we moved out to California, and all these people said like, oh, well, good luck, you'll be back. And we were like, heck no, like that's not going to happen. But there were a couple times that it came really, really close to happening. So in 2016, we had moved out to California, and at the time I was commuting an hour and a half one way to my job. So I was commuting about 2.5 to 3 hours a day total. And I was like the teacher that was going to change the world. I went and got my master's in education. I got a 4.0. I was just like so bound and determined to be the teacher that like was a teacher for freaking 30 years. And like, that was what I was going to do the rest of my life. And about 2 or 3 months in, I was like, wait a minute, like this isn't it. Like, I knew in my core that like, this wasn't it. And it was kind of like this internal battle I had with myself because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a planner, and I had like a 5-year plan. And I remember in college wanting to kind of look at different grad schools from my undergrad. And I remember sending my parents a PowerPoint of what my 5-year plan looked like. And like, quitting teaching was not on there. And so I kind of battled with this internally, like, is it just a hard year? Like, is it, what does this mean? And I know a lot of you guys, I know a lot of you are moms and maybe some of you are teachers, but I had 36 first graders in a class from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that was hard. And it was in the projects. So it was double hard, probably 10 times as hard. But very quickly, I just got burned out. At the end of the day, I got burned out and I started to turn to food for comfort. So I am a recovering emotional eater, 100%. I still catch myself like feeling a certain type of way and being like, I need pizza. And I'm like, no, you need to eat a salad because you're feeling like you need pizza, but you don't actually want the pizza. Like, I'm all about having the pizza, but not when I am just like feeling sad and wanting to eat the whole dang pizza. So I started to turn to food for comfort. And in about 4 to 6 months, I gained about 35 pounds, which put me at the heaviest weight I had ever been in my entire life. And I just kind of lost myself and started to just be, the best way I can describe it is I was just a shell of myself. Like it's crazy because I just posted some workout videos when I actually first started coaching yesterday. I kind of did this like back and forth flashback thing. And I am a completely different person. Like, you can scroll to the beginning of my Instagram and I'm a completely different person. And I think it's because coaching really helped me find myself. So fast forward to the spring of 2017, I was overweight. I was uncomfortable in my skin. I was just continuing to buy bigger clothes and look into more fad diets and join a gym membership that I probably went to like 4 times in 2 years. And one day I was just scrolling on Instagram and I came across, I think it was on either the Explore page or a hashtag, and I came across this girl. And she had a transformation photo. And on the left is what I looked like. And I wanted to look like her on the right. And at the time, my upline's Ashley Feldison. And at the time, she had lost about 30 pounds. And I was like, dang, like, I look like homegirl on the left and I want to look like her on the right. And all I did was double tap the photo. I didn't comment. I didn't follow her. I didn't fill out the link in her bio. I didn't vote in a poll. I don't even think that was a thing then. I didn't send her a DM, nothing. All I did was double tap her photo and kept scrolling. The next day she was in my inbox with an invite. And so that is like, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some more like tangible tips later on, but I want you guys to hear me when I say inviting is so freaking important, because I did not follow her. I probably would have never, ever seen her content ever again. But since I liked her photo, she sent me an invite. And if she would have just thought like, I'm not going to send my invites today, or I'm just going to skip this photo of people that liked my post, and I'm just going to, forget about sending them those invites, she would have never gotten me. And I actually signed up with the challenge pack that day after she told me about her challenge group. And I was really solid for like 2 weeks, and then I quit. And I gave her every excuse in the book, and I still kick myself all the time at this part of my story. But I told her that at-home workouts don't work. I told her Shakeology was an overpriced protein shake. I told her I didn't have time. I told her I didn't have money. I told her all these excuses. And I said, that's really great that it works for you, but it's not for me. And for the next 9 months, I watched her every single day. Every single day I typed her name into Instagram and I watched her stories and I saw what she posted that day. And I watched her every single day until December 1st, 2017. I looked around my classroom and I thought, this is it. Like, this is really going to be my life for the rest of my life. Like, I am constantly exhausted. I'm so burned out and I'm so anxious all the time. I am completely uncomfortable in my skin. I haven't worked out consistently in over a year or 2. Like, this is really just going to be it. And I can't even describe it to you guys, but it sounds so weird when I say it out loud, because I probably hadn't talked to Ashley in like a month or so. We had kind of been talking here or there over the course of 9 months because she'd been following up with me and like telling me to jump back in. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go try this other thing. And that other thing never worked. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be a Beachbody coach. Like, that was the thought that came to my head when I thought, like, this is it. This is going to be my life. The thing that I thought could change my life was I was going to be a Beachbody coach. So I texted Ashley and I said, all right. And at the time, you guys, Ashley, she's a superstar diamond coach now, but at the time she was like a diamond. Like, I don't even know if she was like a paid diamond. You know, it wasn't like she was anything crazy and she didn't have all these followers and like her Instagram wasn't perfect, but I connected with her on such a personal level. And I actually didn't follow any other coaches. Like, I had no idea really what Beachbody was. I had tried Insanity in high school. My friend made me try it in high school and I was like, F this, like, I'm not doing this ever again. This guy is crazy. And then I happened to be in the Transform 20 test group and I was like, well, this is full circle. But that day I just said, you know, tell me about this coaching thing and don't BS me, because I need to be held accountable for my own health and fitness, and I need to make enough money to cover my own products. So you know what? If I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to go all in. And if I'm going to do it, I might as well help other people do it too. So that day I signed up with a new challenge pack. I was actually an inactive discount coach for 9 months. And I know we all will have those people that ghost us, they go inactive, like all this stuff. Like, do not give up on them. Like, you better be around when they're ready to come back, because I was that person. I was an inactive discount coach under her spouse. So I was not on her radar whatsoever. But I rebought a challenge pack and I said, I'm going to do 80-day obsession. And that was the program that was launching when I first started as a coach. It was like January of 2018. And I had 500 followers on Instagram, which I had never done an Instagram story before. I didn't post consistently, nothing like that at all. And I just thought, like, I'm just going to ask people to do this with me. So obviously since then, a lot has changed. I ended up leaving teaching, like, insert income disclaimer. I ended up leaving teaching 7 months into the business after I exceeded my income. And then a year later, we moved to Arizona, which is where we live now. We built a house in Arizona. And I helped my husband leave law enforcement with our business. So now my husband and I both work this business at home. And then he also helps me with this little, like, swag shop that we have on the side. So a lot has happened in 2 years. But the things I'm going to talk to you guys about tonight are literally things that you've never heard before. Or, like, they're things that you have heard before. There is nothing on this list that you haven't heard before. 100%.
Wait, I was about to get really excited, Kate.
I'm getting wrapped.
Just kidding.
These things are not special. Like, they're not things that, you know, are going to be new, but I hope that tonight you hear them in a different way. And I hope that you hear them in a different, that maybe something will click with you tonight. But first, I really want to talk about, like, the mindset around Success Club, because I feel like, people think of Success Club as like, oh, it's Success Club. Like, we know we're supposed to hit Success Club. Everyone knows they're supposed to hit Success Club. We know that that's important, but I think we just think of it as Success Club, or we think of it as a number, and we don't really have, like, any backing towards it. So my first thing I want to tell you guys is, if you are not hitting Success Club, you are a discount coach. And that is not me being a bee. That is me being truthful, because at the end of the day, if you're not hitting Success Club, you are not making a profit for your business. You are truly not moving your business forward. So if you're not hitting Success Club, you're a discount coach and this is a hobby. If you want to call yourself a business owner and you want to run a business, you have got to be hitting Success Club 6 minimum. You guys, it's 3 people. 3 of them. That's it. There are billions of people in the US, Canada, and the UK. And if you are telling me that you can't find 3 people, you are not working hard enough. I think that people look at Success Club as, like, it's so hard, but I have never, like I said, when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I had 500 followers on Instagram. If you guys want to take the time to scroll back to my Instagram, you'll see I did not know how to use a filter or a preset. That wasn't even, like, a thing then. My captions sucked. I had terrible lighting, so I was working out at 4 a.m. every single morning before teaching. And I still managed in my first month as a coach to hit over SC40. So if you can tell me that you aren't helping 3 people, you're not talking to enough people. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I was never focused on this is my second point with mindset, is I was never focused on, I just need to hit Success Club. I was focused on, I'm going to help as many people as I can with this gift that I have to offer. I'm just going to help as many freaking people as I can. And I'm going to talk to as many people as I can. And I'm going to share my journey with as many people as I can. And if they want to join me, cool. And if not, cool. But I'm going to go find the people that want to do this with me. And that's how I started my business. We didn't have a tracker when I first started, or we did, and my coach didn't know about it because we were all still relatively new. We didn't have a Success Club system tracker. My coach mentorship that my coach put me through was 3 videos, and it was all about mindset. So I really didn't have any clue what like emerald, diamond, any of that meant. All I knew is that I was going to focus on my own journey, and I was going to invite people to do it with me. And at the end of the day, this business is just that. This business is literally committing to a fitness program and inviting people to, or a nutrition program and inviting people to do it with you. And when I first started my business, I was 35 pounds heavier than I am today. I did not have a transformation. I was the most out of shape I have ever been in my entire life. And I posted my dang workout videos. And I look at those workout videos and I'm so stinking proud of that Kate that showed up then so that she can be who she is today. Because I showed up every single day at 4 a.m. having no freaking idea what I was doing, but people were inspired by the journey and not by the destination. People are inspired by you just showing up consistently every single day and talking to them about what you're doing. Like, even when you think you're being annoying, like, you're still not talking about it enough. And I just feel like when I was a brand new coach, I think now I overcomplicate it now. I feel like as a brand new coach, I was like, I'm going to do this 80-day program. Do you want to do it with me? I'm going to work out. You want to work out together? Like, that was how I was having these conversations with people. And that was how I was getting people to join me. And in my first year as a coach, on my team, under myself or my husband, we popped a diamond a month for 8 months. And it was strictly because I'm doing this workout program. Do you want to do it with me? Like, I'm doing this. Do you want to do it with me? And those diamonds, out of all the diamonds I've popped ever, I've had one quit, and she had to quit because of like family reasons. She didn't quit because she wanted to. So like, that to me shows me that like people are inspired about the relatability of your journeys, and like, they just want to do this with you. And that's all. You don't have to be, you don't have to have the most flawless Instagram or the most flawless call to action, the most flawless invite. Like, I truly believe that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you just have to talk to people. Like, just have to talk to people. So that's my mindset. If you're not hitting Success Club, you're a discount coach, and you just have to own it. Like, you either need to own it, or you need to go get your butt off the couch and go send some invites and hit Success Club so that you can call yourself a business owner. And then number 2, I've never, ever, ever thought of it as I need to just hit Success Club. That is why I've hit the high numbers that I've hit my entire coaching business, because I've just decided I'm going to help as many people as I can, because what we have to offer is truly a gift that not only changes people's lives, but it saves them. And if you don't believe that, then you need to listen to more coaches tell their story, and you need to really lean into your own journey and figure out like, what it is that we have to offer, because it's beautiful. So I have 5 like tangible things that you can do in order to help more people when it comes to your business. And number 1 is, drum roll please. Number 1 is the tracker. Number 1 is this dang, you guys, I have it right here, the dang Success Club system tracker. Nothing fancy. It's in your Coach Online office. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're probably like, all right, Kate, well, I know that there's a tracker and I use the tracker and whatever. If you're not hitting Success Club and you're not a diamond coach, I fully believe that you should be doing nothing but the tracker. Like, there is no reason that you should be trying to like do anything else except what's on the tracker, because I personally still follow the tracker like to a T. I'll give you guys a little hack. I actually went and printed out 53 trackers at home, and then I took the stack to Staples and I had them bind it in a spiral, so I made it a notebook, so that at the end of the year I can look back and I can see why or why not I want to be. So at the end of the year, I can look back, or the end of the quarter, or whatever it might be, and I can look back and say, you know what, we slayed this year. Like, this year was awesome. We had a good year. And I can be like, it's because, all these check marks on these trackers. Like, this is why. This is my book of proof. And if we get to the end of the year and it sucked, then I can look at the tracker and I can be like, yeah, well, I only sent invites 2 days out of the week. No surprise there. Or I only posted every other day or a couple times a week. No surprise there. If you're not tracking, you don't have a business. If you're not tracking, you have to be tracking, you guys. And I was someone that thought I was too good for the tracker. And I was like, I'm doing the things on the tracker. I was telling my coach, I was telling people, I'm doing the things on the tracker. I'm doing the things on the tracker. And then when they said, show me your tracker, I didn't have it. Because in my head, I thought I was doing the things on the tracker every single day, but I didn't have the proof on paper that I was doing the things on the tracker. And when I actually started following the tracker, I realized how many gaps there were. I realized, like, yeah, I'm posting on stories every day, but like, I'm not doing a call to action, or I'm not doing the one I struggle the most with stories is a healthy meal or meal prep. And it's because I literally eat so fast. I'm like always hangry. So I know that's a weak spot for me, but I noticed that the things that I wasn't consistent on for probably like the last half of last year was call to actions, posting healthy meal prep, recognition. I was sucking at recognition and shout outs. And then I was honestly sucking at contributing to my challenge group. Like, those were the things that I had gaps in when I actually started tracking. So now my goal every single day as a 2-time elite coach is to fill up the tracker every single day. So if that's my goal, then that should be your goal as well. And obviously there's some extra stuff that I do like here and there, but I can go to bed at night, and if I got the tracker done, I'm good. Like, I know I did what I needed to do in order to drive my business forward. And I think you have to come up with those like non-negotiables that you're going to do no matter what, no matter how crazy your day is, that like, no matter what, when your head hits that pillow every single night, you know that you did what you needed to do in order to drive your business forward. If you are someone that does follow the tracker and you're someone that does hit Success Club consistently, like maybe you're like a Success Club 6er or like 8 person, and you want to do more, 10x the tracker. Send more invites. Talk to more people. Post more consistently. It's honestly, I think we just overcomplicate this business so much, you guys. This business is so freaking simple. It's not easy. I think this business is so hard mentally because you can really get in your head with this business, but it is easy. As far as the work goes, it's simple. Like, hard work is when I watch people in Arizona building houses in like 107-degree heat. Like, that's hard work. Or watching my husband work the night shift at a jail in Orange County. Like, that's hard work. What we do is not hard. And if you think coaching is so hard, then like it's just not going to work. Like, what we do is simple, but you have to have the right mindset around it. And that's where like personal development comes into play, and like staying close to the fire, like getting on team calls like this, talking to people and like inspiring others, like sets my soul on fire. And like, that's what keeps me going every single day. So you have to be doing the tracker. Number 2 is you have to talk to more people. When I first started coaching, like I said, I only had 500 followers on Instagram and I had some on Facebook, and I was that person. And don't be this person. Don't be the Kate that Kate was then. That was like, I'm not going to use Facebook. I was like, I'm from a small town that's 13 blocks wide, and my stepdad's the mayor by default because no one else ever wants to run. And I just don't really want to use Facebook. So I'm just going to grow my Instagram, which in a way, like, obviously it worked out, but I just think of all the people that I missed out because I didn't talk to my warm market right away. I actually remember coming across a girl who I thought would be an amazing coach. And I never, like, on my Facebook, I had ran track against her in high school. I thought she would be so bomb. And I was scrolling through my Facebook and I saw her coach announcement post because she joined a different coach. And the coach that she joined was one of my friends. And I was like, dang it. Like, I missed out because I was too worried about what she would say if I sent her an invite. Like, you cannot make decisions for people. You cannot say like, oh, like she doesn't need this, she's already fit. Like, you don't know what she's struggling with. You don't know if she like wants to build a business or not. Like, you don't know. You have no idea. And when I first started coaching, no one told me like how many invites to send. So I just started sending messages to people. Like, my coach told me to invite, so I invited. And I think I started inviting like 35 people a day when I first started coaching. And they were all people that followed me. I've never, ever, 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 ever sent an invite to someone that doesn't follow me. So in the beginning, I had to work really hard at growing my following. And you guys, the only way that I have found like tried and true at growing your following is posting consistently to talk to your tribe and friends of friends of friends of friends. Like, I literally started from Curtis's Instagram, Curtis, my husband, started to his Instagram, went to his followers, followed the girls that were following him. Then I went to their followers and I followed the girls that were following them. And then I went to their followers, and I just did that over and over and over again. And I just found the other Kates. And then like, obviously, once you start like getting a little bit of traction, your posts start to show up on other people's stuff and people start to share your stuff, but it doesn't start out like that. And I just focused really hard on inviting and growing my following, inviting, growing my following, inviting, growing my following. And eventually, like, I've never ran out of people. And when I started with 500 people and a coach with about that or more says that they've ran out of people, like, there's no way. If they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, there's no freaking way that they've ran out of people, because I never ran out of people. And maybe that they need to grow their Instagram more. Maybe that's me. They need to go to Facebook and they need to talk to people on Facebook. But I never ran out of people. And once I started to get that traction, I started to invite 62 people a day. And you guys, I invited 62 people a day for like probably 9 months of my business. Every single day. I had notebooks, and the reason it was 62, I don't even think I have a notebook over here right now. But the reason it was 62 is because when you fold like a normal college ruled notebook in half like this, there are 31 lines on one side. And so I would number 1 through 31, and then I number 32 through 62. And when I was a full-time teacher, commuting an hour to hour and a half one way, coaching middle school basketball, planning a wedding, and trying to just like be a human in between the cracks that I could, I did not go to bed until 62 people were invited to my challenge group. And that's what I did for 9 months. And I had a lot of people ask me like, okay, well, how do you get over rejection? Like, I'm so worried about what other people are going to think, or I'm just, so many people are saying no, or these people are ghosting me. And I remember like stopping and listening to that question the first time it was asked, because I was probably like a 3-star then. And so it was still like the first 6 months of my business. And I was like, I don't really know the answer, because I don't pay attention to the rejection. I'm talking like, if you have time to worry about Sally ghosting you today, then you're not talking to enough people. And like and I'm saying like have conversations, send invites, like do all the things, have all of the conversations that you can. But if you are focusing on people that are saying no, or the people that are ghosting you, then you're not talking to enough people. Like, you need to be so busy having conversations with people and showing up for your tribe that you don't even know, you don't even know who's saying no. And then number 3 is, I just love that Jatana said this in the beginning, is show up more consistently. I see so many coaches on my team, especially when they first start, they talk about their challenge group like on Monday, and then they don't talk about their challenge group the rest of the week. Or they put up a graphic that says, join my challenge group. Like, no one knows what the F that means. No one knows what a challenge group is. No one knows what a boot camp is. No one knows what a fit club is. Like, no one knows what that is, you guys. I don't think that we realize that. And I just found that the ways that I was getting people to say yes, more consistently, or getting more yeses, was I talked about my group every single day. And I had a call to action every single day. And I do this today. Whatever I'm enrolling to. So right now I'm talking about coaching. So I talk about coaching every day, and I have a call to action every day about coaching. And it's not a graphic. It's not something I made on Canva. It is my voice explaining what it is I have to offer. And you don't have to talk about the same thing. I really like kind of mapping out, if I'm talking about my boot camp, then like Monday, I'm going to talk about the workouts. Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the nutrition. I'm going to share my portion control containers. Wednesday, I'm going to talk about the accountability and do a little scroll through of my, my challenge tracker app. And Thursday, I'm going to talk about, this and that. So every day I'm highlighting a different part to my challenge group. And then after I'm done highlighting that, I'm doing a call to action. But I'm using my voice and I'm explaining to people what it is I have to offer them and why it's going to be their perfect solution. Because this is how it benefited me. This is why, I always talk about like, I didn't have time to go to the gym. Like I was commuting, I had to leave the house by 6 a.m. and I got home at 6 p.m. Like I was not about to go drive to 24-hour fitness in California and try to find freaking parking and then get to the gym and like figure out what I needed to do on the elliptical and then do 10 minutes of core. Like I had done that and it didn't work. So what I like about our programs is that I can do them from home and they're guided. I know exactly what I need to do to maximize the amount of time that I have. I've gotten a better workout in 30 minutes than I did like in 2-a-days in varsity volleyball. So talking about those things and like relating to people and getting passionate about it. Like I think that when you are truly passionate about what you have to offer and you love what you're doing, like people can feel that. Like don't fake it. Like don't say that, you love that, you didn't like the gym, so you love that you can do these at home if you really did like the gym. Like you have to talk about it as it relates to your story because that's how you're going to find the people that relate to you and that want to sign up with you. And without just doing call to actions, like I think there's this balance between, I don't want to just see call to actions on your page and I don't want to just see lifestyle. Like I want to see both because you are more than just Beachbody. And that's something that I really I've kind of always been that way, but I feel like over the last 6 months, or actually it's been a lot longer than that, over the last like 8 or 9 months, I've developed more of a brand based around like my life and like the things. I'm more myself. That's how I can explain it the best. I'm more myself than I ever have been in my entire life over the last like 8 months. And I truly feel because of that, I'm finding the right people. And it's because I'm sharing the like deep stuff. My husband and I have been going through infertility and we are, we've gone through treatments and we had a miscarriage in November and that is just hard. And showing up and sharing that, like the hard stuff along with the good stuff is really how you find your people. And like, if they, when I say find your people, like not all of them are signing up with me. Like not all of them are, wanting to join my challenge group, but I'm able to connect with so many more people. And I think that when we sign up to be coaches, all we want to do is make an impact. Like, yeah, we want to build a business. Yes, we want to have freedom. Yes, we want to do these things. But the one thing we all have in common is that we want to make an impact. And so like, I'm totally cool if Susie doesn't ever join my challenge group, but she responds to every single story that I talk about with infertility with so much support. Or Sally comments on every single photo and just like, lights my light every single day because of her positivity, even though she's working with a different coach. Like I think we have to get over the fact that we can bring people to our community that aren't going to sign up with us, but you also never know who might. So you can't count anybody out. And if you're showing up consistently as yourself and as a coach, then you're going to find those right people. And you guys, it's just like, it just blows my mind. The people like 2 years ago that first started following me that are saying yes now. So my next point is follow-ups. And this goes into that like really, really well, is if you are not following up with people, you are missing out on a lot of people. When I follow up with people, I am annoying AF, like totally. And if they tell me they're interested and I get their info to send them info, they are going to hear from me every day for the next probably like 3 or 4 days. to see if they have any questions or see if they're ready to get started. And if they continue to ghost me, I'll probably follow up with a week later. And if they ghost me then too, then they're getting another invite the next month. And if they're still watching my stories and they're still watching my stuff, like they're still interested. And I think a lot of times we take like ghosting or rejection personally, and it's not personal. I remember Heather Shipley was telling me her story, and she had reached out to Emily Favre and was like, tell me about this 80-day boot camp. And Emily told her about it, and she ghosted Emily for 4 months. But within those 4 months, they had like 2 or 3 miscarriages. And she watched Emily every single day, and Emily followed up, and she kept ghosting her. It's like, you don't know what people are going through, but they're going to join you when they're ready. So you just have to continue to be there for them. And when I follow up with people, so I get this question a lot, is like, okay, what if I've met someone and they ghosted me, but they're still watching my stuff? Homegirl gets another invite the next month. Like, you're still creeping on stories, you're getting another invite. And that's just how I've always been. And I have never, ever, 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 ever had someone say, stop messaging me. Like, ever. If I've sent them multiple invites. I probably had people block me, but no one's actually come out and said, hey, stop sending me invites, because they're the ones creeping. And when I think of if you were to go on Facebook and post, like, I'm having a party on Friday. It's at 7:00, and I would love for anybody to come if they want to. Here's the address, BYOB. I would scroll right past that post and be like, ooh, I don't know. We haven't talked in a while, so it'd be weird if I showed up to her party. I'm just going to not show up. Like, not many people would probably come to your party. But if you sent someone a message and asked them, hey, Kate, I'm having a party at 7, and I would love if you could be there. Here's what I'm wearing. It's super casual. If you could just like bring that buffalo dip that you make, it's super good. That would be great. I'm way more likely to go to her party than just a post that she puts on Facebook. And so I think of that with inviting, and I also think of that with following up. If I invite someone to a party and they can't go to that party, I'm not going to just stop inviting them to parties. Like, I'm going to ask them if they want to come to the next one. Or I'm going to ask them if they want to come to the next get together. Or I'm going to ask them, hey, is everything okay? Like, I haven't really talked to you in a while, or, I haven't been connecting with you, but I see you're kind of still on social media. I just wanted to check in, make sure everything's all right. Don't give up on people. Just like Melinda said, she's like, people say, thank you for not giving up on me. Present. My coach didn't give up on me. And for 9 months, she followed up with me. I remember her telling me, Summit was in New Orleans, and she was like, oh yeah, my team and I are going to New Orleans, like, you should come with us. And I was like, cool, like, let me know what it is. She's like, well, like, you have to be a coach in order to go. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. But like, I was like interested enough that I wanted to hang out with her, but like not interested yet in becoming a coach. So follow-ups are super, super key. And then number 5 goes right along with follow-ups is be here when they're ready. Because the worst thing that could happen is the girl that you invited today is going to be ready next month, but you decide, you know what, Kate's call tonight was really super fire, but I just don't think this coaching thing is for me, and you quit. That girl who said she was going to sign up next month is never going to get the chance to sign up. And I think that to me is like the most heartbreaking thing. Is like, there are so many people that they're waiting, they're watching, even people that you don't know that if you give up now, you're not only holding yourself back from your potential, but you're holding other people back from theirs. And I have been a coach for just over 2 years. And last month I signed up a girl who has watched me every single day for 2 years. And I talked to her about it today, and I was like, dude, like, what was it that finally clicked? Because I had sent her info multiple times. She had unfollowed and refollowed me multiple times. And I was like, dude, like, what was it? What was finally the click? And she was like, I just had enough. I was just finally sick of watching you live the life that I wanted. And I just finally had enough. But what would have happened if I quit in year 1? And I thought, this coaching thing is not really for me, so I'm just going to stop. And then Naz looks at it and goes like, oh, well, Kate didn't stick to it, so definitely not for me. Like, if you're going to do this, like, you've got to do it, and you've got to be here for the people that are going to be ready to join you down the road. People always say, like, be here a year from now. And I say, like, be here 5 years from now. Be here, 10 years from now. I get so freaking excited about, like, who this month is going to sign up with me that's watched me for the last 2 years. Like, those original 500 people, like, where you at? Because I know you haven't all signed up yet. And it just, like, it gives me chills to think about, like, over the next, year, how many people are going to slide into your guys' DMs, or you're going to invite them again, or you're going to follow up with them, and they're going to be like, thanks for being patient with me. I'm ready to go all in. Because it's going to happen. If you show up the way that you need to be showing up, it's going to happen, but you have to be consistent. You have to follow the tracker. You have to do the things that you guys know you need to do. And it's nothing special. It's just showing up consistently, being proud of what you have to offer, sharing that over and over again, and having freaking fun with it, because you guys, this job is fun. Like, the fact that I can sit here with 30 of you virtually, drinking my glass of wine, hanging out, like, that's like the best part of my day. It's way better than commuting in LA for freaking 3 hours a day. So you just have to get over yourself and talk to more people and realize that what you have to offer changes people's lives, because that is how you hit Success Club. That's all I got. And I'll take questions, but
that was amazing. And you did blow up our chat. So there you go, girl. That was awesome. One of the points that I absolutely hung on to, and I think it's so key, and I need to be more intentional with doing it on a regular basis, but the power of your story in your call to action. Not just a call to action, not just a cute graphic, but the power of your story inside your call to action, because that is what's really going to get to the heart of the person that's watching you. And I think you do such a fantastic job of that. And I love. It almost takes pressure, even off. I mean, I love doing graphics. I have so much fun, but it takes pressure off of me at 7 years into the business to look at Kate and watch her stories and go, okay, there's nothing super flashy. Like, she's talking to you. She's got words across the bottom, and she's inviting you every single day. And she's sharing her life, and she's sharing her journey. I just think that's genius, and it's duplicatable. Anybody can jump on your team and start their journey and start sharing their journey and do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think for like a while, I was doing the graphics. I was seeing what other people were doing. I was like, oh, I should do that. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I should do that. And it wasn't working. And I was like, what is happening? Like, I'm not hitting the numbers that I usually hit. And I just realized that, like, people connect to people. And like, when I started this business, it was so simple. Like, you keep it so simple, and it makes it way more fun. Like, I hate graphics. I hate them with passion because I'm a perfectionist. And so I like spend hours making graphics. And if it's like slightly off, like, I just delete the whole thing and just forget about it. So yeah, it takes that pressure off, and it is duplicatable. Like, I can just tell my coaches, like, go talk on your stories about your boot camp. And like, sure, they're awkward the first couple times because you're not used to it yet. My like voice, when I hear my voice from like old stories, I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Like, who was that? Because I wasn't like confident yet, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. And you stop caring about what other people are going to say or think. So
absolutely. And I love when you said, there's a question there real quick. I love when you said, do you want to do 80-day obsession with me? Or I think I wrote 80-day obsession because that's what I'm in the middle with right now, but whatever program it was. And I remember when I first started forever ago, I sat, and my team already knows the story, but I sat in the corner of my bedroom in my little desk, like IKEA busted up desk, and I saw who was online on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, I'm doing Insanity. You want to do Insanity with me? Over and over and over and over and over again. And a lot of people told me no, but a lot of people that told me no are now on this team. So it's so true. And so leading into that real quick, how do you propose an invite to your first 32 people? Like you said, you invited 32 people. What did you say?
I literally say, and it's the same thing I say today, like what I said when I first started is the exact same thing I say today. I just kind of switched up all the time. But I say literally like, hey, sister, I don't know if you've seen, but I'm enrolling for my next boot camp, and I wanted to see if this month is a good fit for you. Like, or if you want more info to see if it's a good fit for you. Or like, yeah, that's usually what it is. Like, hey, I don't know if you've seen, but I'm doing this. And that puts pressure on me to make sure I'm talking about my boot camp. Because like, hey, I don't know if you've seen, and like, hopefully she has seen, because I am showing up talking about it on my stories, and she's watching my stories, or she's liking my posts, or she's following me. And that is literally like how I invite still today. Just super simple. I am the type of person that like gets to the point, and that's just how I've always invited, and that's what's always worked for me.
Love it. Kelly Bachelor asks, when you have new coaches sign up, how many invites do you suggest they send per day, and how many days a week?
So this is funny. I actually photoshopped the Success Club system tracker in Canva, and it says like send at least 5 invites a day. And I photoshopped it and put it in my team page. And it says 15 invites a day. So I added a 1 to the tracker. And so my coaches come onto my team, and they are sending 15 invites a day. That's the goal, is what I start to tell them to do. And then they don't even realize that, like, because I don't think 15 is a lot. I think we're in a day and age where people are constantly getting sold something. And so your like conversion ratio is a lot lower than I think what it used to be, when maybe 5 invites a day worked. But like 15 invites takes like 5 minutes to send. So, at least 15 invites. Most people on my team send between like 30 and 50 a day. I would say like the diamonds on my team send between like 50 and 62. They still follow the like 62 system. And they do it every day. I think if any of them skip a day, it's Sunday, but most of them invite every single day.
Awesome.
Do you use an email system, or do you do strictly DMs? I use all email. When I send info, when I first started, I sent them through DMs, and then my Instagram disappeared twice, and I had to recover it, and it was like the scariest thing ever. And so I was like, okay, if Instagram disappears, I need to have a business. And so I just started inviting, and then when people say they're interested, I'm like, cool, what's your email so I can send you more info? And I just do everything through email. And then it's also super, super easy, because I just use Google Streak. Super easy to follow up with people, because I just have every single month, I just go through everyone that I've sent info to, but they never signed up. Like, I didn't move them in my pipeline, and I just follow up with all of them. So I'm doing like, there's thousands of names in there. And once in a while I'll go through and I'm like, all right, I've invited this person like 16 times and they haven't, replied. So I'm going to just delete them off my list. But most of the time I just use that to follow up, and it's super, super handy. When you shoot them an email, do you send everything in one email or in parts and let them respond? I send it all in one email. That's what I found has worked for me. So at the beginning of the email, and I used to make pretty packets on Canva with all the package options and attach them. And I just found that like no one cares. Like no one cares that you spent 3 hours making a packet on Canva. Like they don't even know what that means. So I just started building it into my email, where the first paragraph, like first couple sentences of my email is the value. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you to jump into my boot camp. I just started an 80-day boot camp for some girls. So I would say like, this is the first program that I ever did. And, besides the physical transformation that I got, the fact that I showed up every single day for myself for 80 days was like more rewarding than anything. So I really kind of like pump up that value and that storytelling in the beginning. And then I say, okay, here's a couple enrollment options for you. And it says like, here's what you get. And then everything what they get. And then at the bottom is the price. So I like pump up the value of the challenge pack and everything that comes in the challenge pack first. And then at the very bottom, I'm like, you get all of that. And then again, I say, including a year membership, because I think some people think that 160 is like, or 180 or whatever is like every month. And I don't require Shakeology or Performance Stack every month. Like if they get it their first month, if they hate it, they can skip it or cancel. So I do say it's like $180 for the year. And so I make sure I say that like 3 times in the email so that it's very clear. And even then I'll have people say it's too expensive. And I'm like, oh, well, I thought that too. But when I realized it was for an entire year, they're like, oh, I didn't even realize it was for an entire year. I'm like, people just see the number and they get sticker shock. They don't really understand. So pump up the value, price tag. And I always give at least 2 to 3 challenge pack options. So I give them the base, I give them a deluxe, and then I usually do like an add-on with the nutrition, one of the nutrition programs. So, and a lot of times, like, it'll surprise you how many people go for the deluxe because they see it's a better value. I know for me, if I'm given 3 options and there's like a low price, medium price, high price, I always go for the middle because like I'm not spending the most amount of money, but I'm getting a little bit more than I would have from the first one. So you'd be surprised with how many people will sign up with the deluxe. Do you think that would work for you when you were still growing your Instagram, not as many followers? Do you feel like you lost personal? No, I've never asked someone what their goals were before I signed them up. I've always like, this is the program we're doing, or when you get signed up, we're going to talk about your goals and we're going to talk about a program that would be a good fit for you. But I've never been the type of person that's like, hey, you want to join my boot camp? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what are your goals? Like, I have tried that and I lost people because I think my tribe they're busy. Like my tribe, like, wants to know the info, see if it's good fit for them, and then they want to sign up. Like my people aren't like going, like they're busy moms or they're busy teachers or they're busy, like they're in grad school or they're going back and forth. And so I think that I make a point to connect with them in other ways than through an invite. Like I'm so myself on social media and I'm constantly like doing random polls or talking about random stuff. You guys, I got like 500 DMs the other day because I went on a rant about people putting their shopping carts away. Like I talk about the most random stuff, and I think that's where I build connections with people, and that's where, and that's how I've always done it. And I never felt like I needed to like make a connection with them in order to sign them up for my boot camp. Once they get signed up with my boot camp, then I ask them their goals. Then I ask them how I can best support them. Then I'm like building that relationship with them. But I know for me, if my coach would have asked me like, okay, cool, you're interested, like, tell me your goals, I would have been like, what is it? Like, why can't you just tell me the info? Like, why can't I, like, that's just the type of person I am. So I think you have to figure out, like, who are you? Because that's who your tribe is. So I think you have to invite and have conversations the way that you would want to be invited and have conversations. And that's, like, the best policy.
I love that. It's so funny because I'm so polar opposite. Because if somebody were to ask me, like, what are your goals? What do you think your stumbling blocks are? I'm like, okay, somebody's going to finally listen to me. Listen, this is what I'm struggling with. And as I guess, a mom who feels like you're just serving everybody, it's that moment to like almost vent. And so when I invite, it's totally different. I'm like, all right, girl, what is it? What's holding you back? And I get in there and that helps me close the sale. So there's so many variations to it. And I love that you're sticking to what works for your personality and your tribe, because they're going to get the energy from you much more positively than if you try to do it the way somebody else that's successful is saying that they do it.
Yeah. And I think for a long time, I looked at other coaches that did it a different way than I did and thought I was doing it wrong and was like, oh, like, I must be doing it wrong. Like, I better try that. I better try this. And then I started trying it and I was like, wow, no one is responding. Like, no one's telling me their goals. Like, where are you at, girl? Like, no one. And I like mean that in my core. And so I think you just have to figure out like what works for you. And like, I always say invite how you would want to be invited. Like, if you want to be buttered up and have a relationship first before you're invited, then like do that to other people. But for me, if someone were to send me a DM and say like, oh my gosh, girl, I love your dogs. What kind are they? I'd be like, what is this girl trying to sell me? Like, that's my personality type. So you have to figure out like, what's your personality and do that, because that is how you're going to attract your people. And that's where you're going to find the right people. Because if you do it the other way, you're not going to really find your people and you're just going to get frustrated.
Love it. And I loved your shopping cart thing. Those little nuances that it creates this vibe that you have. And then too, because I had one with Spotify, like I just talked about Spotify, and then everybody's sharing, but Jatana Spotify, go to Jatana Spotify. But it just gets your stuff out there, because the girl that isn't in your challenge group, is not a coach, but puts her dang target card away and tags you in it, just exposed you to all of her friends and family members.
And it's so much fun. Like, I think we forget to have fun on social media. And so, like, I have the best time with, like, literally kind of like shaming people into putting their carts away. Like, I did a whole tutorial on how to put your grocery cart away. And okay, I had some like nasty people message me and tell me I was a terrible person. And I'm like, you're the one that doesn't put your cart away. But like, you know, my people connected with it so deeply that like I put it in my Instagram bio and like I made a highlight because my people think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I think you have to figure out, like, you have to be polar in some way. Like, you can't try and appease to every single person because then you're going to talk to no one. So like, I'm talking to people that put away their carts. Like, if you put away your carts, you could be on my team. If not, like, I don't know where you're going to go.
That's one of my number one rules in my engagement thing is you have to be polarizing. And I'm not saying like, do you vote for Trump or do you not vote for Trump type thing, but polarizing things just like the shopping cart. Is it okay if you put your shopping cart up on the curb? Because I do that.
No, that is more work than walking your dang cart to the cart corral. That is more work. Jatana, you can't be on my team.
I know, apparently.
You're not allowed. Sorry. You have to go find someone else.
I'll be more conscious now. Thank you for making the world,
See, now you're gonna think about it. Now everyone on this call is gonna be they're gonna be walking with their carts and be like, dang, Kate would be really disappointed if I don't put my cart away. Like, they're gonna think about it. And that's what you guys have to do on social media, is like do things that when people are doing the action, they think of you, because that's gonna keep them coming back.
Yep, absolutely. Kate, this was absolutely a phenomenal call. Thank you so much for, like I said, taking time away from your husband and your team and pouring into us. I hope you guys feel like you came away with something that you can take action on and move forward with your own businesses tomorrow. I know I'm challenged. Like I said, I've been watching you since somebody brought your name up, and you probably saw me like creeping on your stories. Like, okay, can't invite Jatana. But I've been inspired. So thank you so much for pouring into us tonight.
I'm so glad. I hope you guys took some tips. Like I said, it's nothing new, but hopefully you heard it in a different way tonight, and it just inspires you to like go take action, because that's all you need to do.
Love it. All right, girlfriend, you have a good night. Good night, everybody, and I'll see you at my 6 a.m.ers in the morning.
Bye.
Bye, guys.